Hi, I'm Coach Daniel. And if you want to sleep amazingly well for the rest of your life, this channel is for you. If you have been avoiding things or doing things in an effort to protect your sleep, and you know you probably should change that, but if the fear of losing sleep is keeping you from changing your behavior, then this episode is for you. We're going to see how you can come up with a bigger worry to make you go in the direction that you need to go to sleep amazing. So with that said, we're going to look at 5 examples of this. Welcome to episode 323 here. And just a quick thank you actually to my wife, Jamie Robot, who really gave me the inspiration for this episode. I actually have forgot the context, but she talked to me very recently, just a few days ago, about how if there's something you're kind of afraid of doing, then you can look at something you're missing out on by not doing that. And even bigger fear, in fact, that can actually help you move in the direction that you need to go. And as you can tell from how I named this episode and the thumbnail, etc., this is a little bit step away from the way I typically talk about sleep and insomnia, etc. For those of you who know me, whenever somebody says like, oh, I had a victory tonight, or I'm losing the battle against sleep, or I can't overcome this, I always talk about how you cannot look at it as a struggle or a battle or fight. It's when you step away from that and you can abandon the fighting, the struggle, that's when you really start sleeping better. So, with that in mind, I thought this could still be helpful. So again, we're going to see how you can kind of fight fire with fire here. So without further ado, I'm gonna pose 5 common what ifs, 5 common kind of what if sleep killers, if you will, things that kind of keep you from sleeping well, and then see how you can change those or change your behavior around those, or that are predicated upon those, rather. So let's get going here. So the first one here is this one. What if I wake myself up by watching Netflix? And the scenario here is that it's bedtime, and you typically have been like going to bed at a certain time, making sure everything is dark and cool and quiet, and you kind of just laying there and hoping to sleep. But you've heard that, you heard me say that, it's probably much better to do something you enjoy so that you look forward to going to bed. But you're thinking, what if I wake myself up? What if by doing something I enjoy before sleeping, I actually lose out on sleep? And you're thinking, maybe it's better to just go to bed and kind of maximize my chances of sleep. And I think that is a very valid concern. It's very possible that by doing something you enjoy, you could very well possibly get really engaged in that and get a little bit less sleep than you would if you just went to bed real early and just kind of kept it dark and etc. But at some level, that this is probably not the best thing to do. So how can you get yourself past this question? What if I wake myself up by watching Netflix? What you can do is come up with another what if, which is, what if I reinforce my fear of losing sleep and get stuck? What if I continue doing what I'm doing, kind of laying in bed, just hoping, praying, wanting to sleep, and I never really get anywhere? I just keep reinforcing to my brain that sleep loss is really dangerous. You have to do everything you can to sleep, and I get stuck. And when you ask yourself that question, what if I reinforce my fear of losing sleep and get stuck? Then you might feel, guess what? I think I should abandon this and do something I enjoy. I think that could be a really helpful what if in this scenario. So let's move to the second one here. Second out of 5 here. Number 2, what if I can't sleep without this supplement? And this is, for example, if you've taken valerian root extract, and sometimes it seems to work, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes not to work, and you're thinking, what, I probably shouldn't take this. It's probably just, again, reinforcing that I can't sleep, etc. But that question still is kind of nudging you, kind of still present. But what if I can't sleep without it? Should I just keep taking? What if I can't sleep without it? Well, then you deploy this other what if. Well, what if I keep eroding my sleep confidence by taking the supplement and don't get the sleep I deserve? you know at some level that, by keep taking something that you think or hope will make you sleep, and sometimes it seems to do that, what you're doing is actually you're reducing your sleep confidence. You kind of keep telling yourself you can't sleep on you need this, you can't sleep on you need this, you can't sleep on you need this, etc. So what if you can ask yourself, what if I keep eroding my sleep confidence and don't get sleep I deserve? That can take you to a place where you're like, yeah, that's right, I should just stop doing that. Stop doing it, start building your sleep confidence, and you get better by using that what if. Let's move forward here. Number 3, what if Diet Coke is the reason I can't sleep? And this one is in the context of like maybe early on, like, you started having trouble sleeping for not too long. You're kind of in that stage of like, you're trying to figure out what's going on. You're thinking, could it be this? Could it be that? And then you're like, I don't drink that much coffee. Coffee is usually a problem. You always hear that. And like, oh, maybe it's the Diet Coke. What if Diet Coke is the reason I can't sleep? But at some level, you also have maybe this feeling that, maybe it's not the right thing to do to stop taking that. I'm not really sure what to do. You've maybe heard me say that you shouldn't give anything up. Well, that's when you can use this what if. What if I give up things I love and let insomnia become a growing part of my life? What if you start with that Diet Coke, and then it becomes like you stop going to social events, you stop doing this, you kind of appease insomnia. So that is a bigger worry than the first one. So this what if can help you preserve things in your life that you love. Number 4, another common one. Well, not maybe this particular example, but the general context of this kind of anticipatory insomnia. So what if my sleep gets messed up if I travel to Tanzania? You have this thing coming up. It could be, really anything. It could be like a presentation, or it could be like your local travel or whatever. You have this thing coming up and you're not sure you should do it. You're thinking, if I do that, my whole sleep might get messed up and I may have more trouble sleeping, which again it's a valid concern. That may very well happen. But again, at some point it feels like, you kind of want to take that trip. But then you're a little bit afraid of losing sleep. You don't know what to do. Then you can deploy this what if. What if I lose a life experience and an opportunity to prove that insomnia dictates nothing? So here you kind of like, you double down on the message here. 2 things here, like, what if I lose a life experience? Very valid, kind of straightforward one. And the second one is like, what if actually this trip is an opportunity for me to prove that insomnia doesn't dictate my life? It has no say over what I do and what I don't do. So this what if, like, looking at it's like, what if I lose an opportunity to prove that I can do this no matter what? That can get you to that point where you're like, guess what? I'm totally gonna go. And that can be like a real moment where you see that, insomnia has no impact. And then lastly, number 5, what if I have another sleepless night? This is a very common one. And this is when someone is like, I really don't want to take that supplement or that medication or something like that, but it's been, a stretch now where I've slept very little. And you're like debating whether maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do that thing I normally do. Because what if I have yet another sleepless night? So what if can you use here that kind of keeps you going? Well, that is, what if I miss that magical moment when I see that I can sleep and everything changes? Just like Pilar from the other day. She just had that moment where she kind of like had that insight, that epiphany, and saw like, okay, there's nothing wrong with me. I can sleep, etc. And so this is, I think, another what if you can deploy. What if you miss that magical moment? That may be tomorrow. It may be tomorrow that you see like, oh, I didn't do anything and I slept pretty good. That could be the magical moment where everything changes and you start really, moving that trajectory of like sleeping well forever. So I hope these 5 helpful what ifs and this technique, it was helpful to you. Let me know what you think. I'm still kind of in my mind, this is very fresh, still debating like, is this even something you should do? Worrying is never good, but I had a feeling that that could definitely be helpful for some people. So With that said, if you have any questions, then as always, please leave a comment or send that question to questions@thesleepcoachschool.com. Look forward to having you back here tomorrow. Until then, take it easy.